Well, back again with another video. Thought I'd try to do something a little different. There's not too many videos on YouTube with people looking for insulators, so I thought I'd take you out with me today. Just so if you've never done it before, you can kind of see what it's like, how I find them, where I find them, that sort of stuff. So far I've got the I guess the ink stamped CPR hive, and I have the older one with the CPR actually pressed into the dome. So that's kind of an early piece. It's nice to see that it's in really good shape. And I've never been on this line, and I'm finding a fair bit of stuff just lying on the surface, so hopefully I'll get something out live for you guys. At the next pole over from the one I took the last video at, and here's a pretty good example of how you can find most of your insulators if you don't really plan on probing for them and you're just looking for surface finds. So that's just a pretty common Dominion 42, but it's still got the iron tie wire on it. I'll likely just leave that behind, but kind of gives you a sense of how easy it is sometimes, some days. And it's kind of interesting because you see you have the new pole here, would have been put up in the 40s or 30s sometime, and you have the old pole stump right beside it, and that's pretty common. And that's also a big reason why you'd want to bring a probe with you if you ever go out insulator hunting, so you can dig in the ground, because buried all around is where the old glass tends to be, and the newer stuff will stay on top. You can actually see the old pole is lying right there on the ground. Anyways, I will get back with you at the next pole site. Just came across this base of a bottle in the grass. It's a Crown Bottling Works from Port Hope, Ontario. Kind of gives you an idea of where I'm looking right now, but it's kind of neat. You can usually find bottles along the railroad tracks almost about as easily as you can insulators. This is the next pole. I haven't looked underneath it yet, but with all this grass on the ground, it's going to be kind of tough for surface finds. Yeah, I don't see anything. I will turn this on at the next pole site. At the next site, it's a pretty low pole. It's only probably about 9 feet off the ground. And there's another one of them white hives. This one is clearly broken, but it is the older style. I will leave that here today. You don't need any more of those. The white ones are pretty common anyways, and it only makes sense to take home the good ones. Get back with you. We're at the next site, and I see a few on the ground. Nothing too great so far, but figured I'd pull what I can out on camera. It's actually interesting. There's the old original cross arm lying in the swamp right now. But let's go ahead and get this out. It's Dominion 42 in a peach color. Like I said, these are later telegraph insulators, and they're pretty common. They do come in some nice colors that are more desirable, but these peach and straw colors are you see them quite a bit. They're still nice looking though. But let's see the other one. Yeah, this is even a newer Dominion 42. These would have been the last ones in service in around like the 60s and 70s. It's interesting. Not really. Just get across here. I'd like to come back to this spot in the summer when all this water's gone, so I can probe around, because anything that would have dropped off of the pole in the day would have sunk right down to the bottom of this mess, and no one would have ever been able to find it. So these are the kind of spots that you'd want to look for if you want to find the older generation insulators for your collection. And there's another late model Dominion 42. I will get back with you. Here's another pretty common style, Skeletal Tantum, still on the bracket. These are so common though that there's no real point in bringing them home. I'd like to get another one of them white ones out on video, so I'll have something interesting to add to this. Anyways, I'll keep looking. Well, I made it a few poles without finding anything, and then I looked up and there's one of those white hives right on the end, and the one beside it snapped off. So I came down here in the brush, and there it is, still on the wire. So let's recover that. It's one of the nicer earlier ones with the pressed CPR in the dome. Nice. So it's gonna get to a bit of a wooded area over there, and likely there'll be some on the surface for me to video. I will get back with you. Stumbled upon a pole that's been cut down. It still has, it's pretty wet. It still has all of the insulators. So, let's see if there's any good ones. Got a Hemingway 152. No shop number. It's pretty average. We got a Hemingway 42 154. This would have been nice. It's a threaded inner skirt 154 diamond. Two more Hemingways. 154. Yeah, that's right on there. Doesn't look too special though. Don't really need a ream on it. I just know where to stand to recover these. Might be able to get that. Bear with me. Pretty common, but it's got some color. Don't know if I'll take that home or not. Looks kind of green, but that's probably just likely the dirt. Anyway, I will get back with you. Two recent finds. One of them threaded skirt diamonds, and a G&W 145 with a big chip out of it. So it's going to be left behind, but I'll take the threaded skirt home. I've been following the stretch that they've cut down. The poles. They're all lying in the side of the tracks. I got like 3 or 4 left to go, and I'd have done this section. So we'll see what else there is here. The next pole is actually lying like this, so it's way easier to get to, better than being half submerged in a swamp. But it looks like we have a bunch of these really common CSC Hemingway pieces, usual stuff, transpositions and whatnot, but there are a couple interesting ones. There's this Brookfield 152. It's got some bubbles and bits and pieces in it. I'm not sure if I'm going to take that home or not, just because it's so common. There's another one right underneath it. Let's get that off of there. It's all spider webs in there. Yeah, that didn't. Not a lot going for that piece either. I'll probably just leave it here for the next guy who collects insulators. Be easy for him to grab. The ones I am interested in are this 154 diamond, just because it's so fizzy. And there's another one in kind of a weird, kind of peachy pink hue. I'll unscrew them, see what they look like. I'm just kind of noticing now there might be another threaded inner skirt over here. Exactly what that is, but it does have a chip, so that'll be left behind. I will get back with you at the next pull. It's getting kind of late, almost ready to go home, but I see a piece of a skirt sticking out. See what kind of shape it's in. It does have a chip, and it's the green stamp. We'll leave that behind. On to the next one. Got something else showing out here in the cedars. Let's pull it out. Yep, one of the older styles. Nice. Take that. This pole site has a few on the ground. I'll start with the less interesting ones. The newer Dominion 42, same thing. Another one. What we got over here? Here's one of the nicer ones. I'm assuming it's one of the older style. Yep, that's what it is. That was from the last pull. There's some of these brown ones, but somebody's deliberately smashed them. Which is too bad, but they're not really worth too much anyways. So this whole cross arm has fallen off at some point in time. But over here, I might have something green intact. Nope. This might be the other half to it.